Hello friends, my name is Bamwolf, this is Alpha X, and welcome to REYNOR vs. Cure from ESL Open Cup number 81. But of course, before we get into things for real, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun YouTube things, help the algorithm know that you're appreciating our content so we will continue to grow, continue to be able to produce all of this different commentary. Without further ado, here spawning the upper right, in the blue, he is the reigning world champion for Clash Esports. He is REYNOR. And his opponent in the bottom left, in the red, he is the online warrior for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure. And perhaps we should more talk about, well, maybe not the bottom left-hand side of this base, or bottom left-hand side of the map, but no, more importantly, we're going to look at what's happening in the middle of the map here. As we do have 3 barracks coming on down, just like that, because Cure, this is a long map. This is arguably a rather Zerg favored map, at least. Yeah, it's 51, 49, 52, 48, something like that. And he does not want to play on a map. Maybe doesn't want to play on a map just like that. Get the first game out of the way, find himself either an advantage, a 1-0 lead, or not have to play on this map anymore. So we're going to have to see whether that one works out for him. But it looks like that answer is no, because REYNOR has gone for an early pool. He's got a gas on the way, and I don't believe he saw anything. Maybe he saw an SCV going out, but other than that, he really has not seen anything that would indicate to him that this is going to be anything other than a standard opener. But, well, it's not. This is Proxy 3Rex here from Cure. He, again, looks to get aggressive. Now, we should point out, Proxy 2Rex, it's not really an all-in. As Maru showed us years ago, he can pretty much Proxy 2Rex every game, and unless your opponent responds perfectly, well, you're going to be fine. You're going to get some damage done. The game, at the very least, can go even on into the mid game. It's very unlikely that you get really punished for that. But look at this. REYNOR already, he's going to get 2 of the 3 SCVs. Then we're going to look to try to build bunkers. So that's already going to be fantastic for him. We can get like half damage done on this SCV before it begins the bunker. That's going to be even better because REYNOR has opted to go for the 19 worker. Actually, he's only on 16 workers right now. So the 16 worker Roach Ravager Ling attack. And, well, he's just going to be attacking out from his own base at this point because, well, I mean, this is going to be a lot of Marines. You're building 3 Marines at a time. Once they get to like 10, 12 Marines, it becomes a significant problem to deal with. And yes, this bunker is going to be able to go down. It will be the last one that will be able to be made within range of this, of the hatchery. And actually, the Roaches will be able to push this back. The SCV is dead, which means no more bunker. And the Roaches should be able to push this back rather easily. Really, at this point, looks like Cure, this is a 3-Rex, right? This is not a 2-Rex. This is not something where you're just like, whatever. I'm okay with not getting anything done. I'm going to float back. It's going to be fine. I shouldn't say okay with getting nothing done, but certainly okay with not killing my opponent. But this is a 3-Rex. This is much more all in. But it looks like Cure may have just been able to find the opening that he is looking for as a bunch of Roaches just went down. What is that? 4 Roaches for 7 Marines. And really, that was an even trade. 1 Marine for 1 Roach, which means it's not even whatsoever. And actually, REYNOR is going to get pretty heavily supply blocked here. Get close to supply blocked as this Overlord goes down. There we go, 33 out of 36. So REYNOR has just lost a lot over the last 30 seconds, but he was in a dominant position. But no, Cure, he just camped the high ground. He said, look, I know you're going to try to move out on the map here, but if I can get you on the high ground, if I can hit you with that concave, it's going to be so much harder for you to go and actually, you know, move across the map. I'm going to be able to take that positive fight. We also should look at, though, what we also should look at here is Cure. Again, he's leaning into step 1. Didn't really work. Step 2, he found some trades, but nothing more. Step 3, get double tech labs to get concussive shells and stim for this army. And maybe, just maybe, that's going to be enough to bull down the Roach Ravager composition that REYNOR has been building. We even have a 4th barracks on the way. All right, so concussive shells is just about done, and we do have a couple of Roaches on the map that Cure may attempt to pick up. He knows that he knows where these Roaches are, so he may be able to intercept things. But no, they're going to be able to find their way back on a creep just fine. As more and more Ravagers finding their way on in, more and more Roaches finding their way on in, and so long as the Ravagers sit on the back lines, as they should, right? When you're playing with Roaches and Ravagers, the Ravagers, they have so much better range that you really want them to sit on the back line. Well, that's why you're going to lose one. But as I was saying, so long as the Ravagers sit on the back line, those are the expensive units. Those are, of course, 100, 100. Roaches are just 75, 25. That so long as they're able to take that fight, realistically, they should live fight after fight, engagement after engagement, should start or continue to find value, and it's going to be rather difficult for Kier to really get anything done here. Maybe once Stim is done. Maybe once Stim is done is going to be that timing for him where he actually can take a positive trade. But REYNOR is doing a really good job of getting enough army out to make sure that he does not die. All right, he's sitting here at 30 army supplied at 19, while also building a significant economic lead over his opponent. Well, he has it because he's 2 bases versus the 1, but Kier, he's only on 23 workers. He only has 1 orbital. This is all or nothing. In fact, he's going to wait for combat shields too. He's getting he's going to get every single barracks upgrade in the game before he looks to move on out. And oh, he's also got a 4th barracks. This is when I'm talking about being all in, this is as all in as it gets for Kier in this game. And I'm not convinced that he has enough, even with Stim, even with combat shields, even with +1. The additional Marines here, that's going to tell REYNOR, okay, this is 4 racks at this point. I know you have concussive shells. I've been tagged by that. I know you're probably waiting for some tech, so it's probably Stim, maybe combat shields we're going to have to see. But REYNOR, just by the timing of this and everything else, he really should have a good idea, at least a passing idea about what his opponent is going for. But now the STV pull, this may catch him off guard. This is a lot of HP to buffer for the actual army for Kier here. And honestly, he doesn't even lose that much economy by pulling the boys. All right, he really has been muling pretty heavily. He's going to run out of... well, I think he was going to start hitting mineral patches going low rather soon. But now, yeah, Kier, he is as all in gets. The STVs have been pulled. They're going to sit here at the front. Combat shields are done. Stim is done. Concussive shells are done. The vials are not going to land here as well. We just have Kier looking to stim on in. But the Zerglings coming on in from behind here. Roaches, Ravagers, they're going down. But again, as long as REYNOR doesn't die, that's all that matters. And he will not die here. In fact, he's going to carry this game pretty easily. GG. REYNOR, he takes game 1. And now game number 2. It's a little bit more of a Terran favored map, so we might not see some proxy shenanigans, although Kier has just shown a love for that in this matchup in particular over the last solid 3 to 4 weeks. But before we talk about that a little more, let's talk about who is in game number 2 in the bottom left. In the blue, he is up 1 game in this series for Clash Esports. REYNOR. And his opponent in the upper right. In the red, down 1 game in this series, but when has 1 game ever stopped him before for Dragon Phoenix Gaming? Kier. And actually, I got a bit of a question for those of you out there in YouTube land. Do I go? Should I when we're recording VODs like this, should I go and introduce the players bottom top of the map every time when we get into a game? Because we cut straight through, right? We cut out any sort of intermediate commentary, so I just don't do it at this point. But unlike a live feed where we're gonna have times where games are being made, we're talking about what happened in the previous game, etc., etc. This is just a straight cut through. So it feels, I don't know, it feels a little bit weird when we have a short game when we do player intros immediately into that next game. So yeah, let me know in the comments, should I keep doing intros like this? Or should we just we introduce the players once at the start of the series and keep going from there? Let me know. I'm curious to find your opinions, and also, hey, you know, talk to me. I love reading what you all have to say after every single video that does get released. But in game number 2 here, Kier is going for something that's once again a little bit greedier than well, I shouldn't say once again, much more on the greedier end of the spectrum. It's not command center first, it's not that bad, but it is going to be reactor first here into multiple Marines, which is on the middle ground, right? You can go CC first, and that's probably the greediest we see, and you can go Reaper expand. But here in the middle, it is reactor first. You don't have any defensive units early on, and that actually may come back to bite Kier just a little bit here, because the Marines are not yet out, and we have a couple Zerglings just looking to zone things out. So yeah, this low ground command center is going to be delayed by a rather significant margin. REYNOR's got more coming on in behind this. He has 4 more roaches underway. He's only on 17 workers, so this is not the 19 worker all in or the 19 worker pressure build, because that is not an all in. This has to get a little bit more done, as the roaches are now going to run across the map here. They're only going to be 4, I think. I don't think he's going to build much more than that. That's going to mean A4 Ravagers, which means he's going to be able to bust down any sort of bunker. And I want to say it's 7 biles So he should be able to bust that down in about 2 volleys. I mean, repairs are a thing, so it's not quite like that, but close enough. And of course, behind this, we're droning on up. REYNOR, he's not going all in behind this, and that makes sense. I mean, game number 1, he was kind of forced to go all in that defense, and that was fine. That was absolutely expected, but not in this game. No, he's fine. He wants to get some damage, and actually he's not even going to build that many Ravagers. He doesn't have the gas for it. But now REYNOR will be able to scout this out with his first couple Hellions, so he's going to be a little bit concerned. He knows what he has to be worried about. But now the Roaches, they're going to find their way on in. The Biles are going to get down on a bunch of these SCVs. 5 SCVs are dead. And yeah, these Roaches, the Ravagers, eventually they will die, but not before 9 SCVs shuffle off this Mortal Coil. And that's what REYNOR's looking for. Yeah, if he's able to bust his way on through, that's great. But getting 9 SCVs, putting himself up 29 workers to 18 in a game like this, well, that is absolute value. That is the creme de la creme for REYNOR in this game. But Cure, I mean, he absolutely has room to make something else happen. He absolutely has counter damage potential because there are no spores, not just yet. Banshees are going to hit the field rather soon, and well, one of the downsides of this build is there are only 2 queens on the map. It's not like REYNOR is going to get really quickly into 4, 5, 6 queens. Not like he's even going to get his 3rd base all that fast. I think that in this part, actually, it's going to be a... Where are we going to see Nidus play? There's only one... Layer is halfway done. There's only one Nidus network. Or there's only one gas. This makes me think that it's going to be something like some sort of Nidus, maybe a Speed Roach play, something like that. Nothing super gas heavy because it doesn't make sense. Right, you want to make sure that you get, if it's going to be 2 base meter, you get on up into 4 gas. And even then, I think you want to get your 2nd and 3rd gas a little bit faster. Although, I mean, REYNOR may just be, yeah, there we go, 4th gas. So, you know what? Maybe I was a liar. Maybe this is just closer to that Railgun build that some of you may be familiar with, where you go Roach pressure. Behind it, you do go into mutas behind that because, yeah, Cure is going to be doing anti-Roach tech. He's going to get maybe tanks. He's going to get Banshees. All of these things that, well, mutas love to eat and they love to hate. All right, so this Banshee will find a little bit of damage, but a little bit of damage is not going to be good enough here as, well, okay, actually this Banshee in the 3rd base, maybe it's going to be a little bit more successful here. The Banshee in the natural is dead. Look at all of these, all of this cancel tricks here from REYNOR. That is a gas cancel, that is a spore cancel, and that's not going to be another spore cancel because you kind of want that spore crawler anyways at this point in the game, just to make sure that drops and things are not nearly as impactful as they otherwise would be. But even then, 5 workers do go down. I think that's going to be the grand total of things. Yeah, 5 workers are dead here. 10 SCVs have died from Cure. So even as he does find some counter damage, he is 13, 15 workers behind. He will have to... Oh. Okay. Very interesting here. We have 5 mutas underway. And I would expect to see a couple more go up to like 8 maybe. But this is +1 range behind this. That is not expected. And again, oh, Speed Roaches. So... I wonder if this is just a big bait. You show 5 mutas, you say your opponent's going to assume that you're going on into more mutas behind that. So actually, I think what we're going to see here, we're going to see a +1 Speed Roach timing where Cure is desperately reacting to mutas, but the mutas are not a commitment, right? It is only 5 that have been made over the course of this game. I don't know if we're going to see any more. Meanwhile, of course, more and more Roaches are on the way. +1 is about halfway done. Speed is just about a little over halfway done at this point as well. REYNOR, this is a really cool style. I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, there's still plenty of tanks on the map. +1 will be done. Actually, we'll be done here. 1-1 will be done before... REYNOR's +1 is, but the mutas, they're finding damage despite only there being 5 of them. And REYNOR's supply continues to climb. He's up 30 army supply right now, and yes, 10 of that is in mutas. There's only 20 army supply of Roach lead at this point. But even with that, even with that, this +1 is going to hit like a truck. And REYNOR, he's only just now, or Cure is only just now moving out to establish his third base. There's only one tank there. The Mutas continue to find damage, even as they do stay alive. And that's the big thing, right? You didn't commit a lot. You committed 500 minerals, 500 to gas to this. But even so, you would like your commitment to pay off. And oh, look at that. REYNOR, he's got the... but this is something we've seen more and more often. Seems like Zerg players have once again kind of remembered that getting the goop there, it does actually prevent things from happening. It does make you hit your timings just a little bit better. But REYNOR now, he has his +1, so he is down 1 upgrade on his opponent, but he's got a 40 army supply lead. And honestly, I think if he just attacks on the right-hand side, he's going to be fine. But no, he's just going to look to attack on the left here, segment out the natural from the third base, and say, hey, look, you know, I know you have a tank. Actually, I think you only have 1 tank here. I'm just going to dive on top of that. Mutas are going to look to take the fight that they can. Miles going to get down to this tank, but the tank is not dead. Not yet. Now it is. So the tank is now dead. There is going to be 1 more on the high ground. The Mutas are dead here, so it's not like they can do much. And it is just REYNOR trying to chase things down. Here, he's going to lose this third base. This third base will be broken. Actually, no, looks he picked up a lot of SCVs, so he's fine there. The wall is going on up on the high ground. This tank on the high ground, firing right, doing everything that it can. It's having a great time. But the third base has been broken. And REYNOR behind this, we have +1 carapace on the way. More and more drones. He's going up to just about 70 workers here. And I think he realized that he's got to go into something else. So we will have that second eBay. Or, excuse me, that second Evo chamber. He will go into 2-1 eventually, which means he's not going to be too far behind in upgrades. But still, I mean, this is not a great... I mean, okay, so I say this is not a great position for REYNOR because I think he had to win the game with this push, but even still. All right, he is preventing Cure from mining off of 3 bases. He is preventing Cure from moving out on the map, but as long as Cure doesn't take too much damage, right? So long as Cure is able to sit here and posture, not take too much, make sure he builds his army supply up and up and up. Once he gets to like 160 supply, once he gets into +2 attack, once his concussive shells are done, it's going to be a powerful army, and it's going to be a difficult army for REYNOR to fight. As actually, there we go, +2 attack is underway, but there's going to be a timing. Yeah, there's going to be a timing here where Cure has a 2 upgrade lead on his opponent, and it's going to be the impactful one, right? Getting +2 attack against roaches that don't have carapace, they're going to melt. All right, these roaches are going to be deader than a doornail, and it's going to be a problem for REYNOR. Now, he does have his 4th base underway, of course. He is doing a good job of making sure that he has fantastic creep spread through the middle of the map. But he is still all in. On 66 workers, he is still absolutely all in here, and he's looking for the fight, but these tanks sitting behind, well, they're not going to allow that to happen. But maybe, just maybe, REYNOR has found a position where he can sweep around to the other side, but no concussive shells are done. It means that Cure can chase. And that 40, 50 army supply lead that we were talking about, well, it's now just 20 here, and well, 20 is still significant. And if REYNOR can find the perfect fight, if he can find that concave that he's looking for, if he can land some biles maybe, he still has the potential to take this fight. He still has the potential to take this game. But the longer this goes, here now his third base has his third base. It is mining once again. I don't know the saturation point, but it's mining. It's able to generate some sort of income. And Cure is just trading more efficiently at this point. He is, now it's a 15 army supply. Well, I guess we're back up to 25. But if we look at resources lost here, REYNOR is only on 71 workers, and he is down just about 2,000 resources at, I don't know, at 11 minutes into this game. And there we go. It is 2-1 versus 1-1 here. We're going to have 2-2 rather soon. And yeah, eventually there's going to be +2 attack for REYNOR, but all of his upgrades are slowed because this was a single Evo chamber attack coming on in from the Italian Stallion. As now we have a bunch of roaches come driving on in. Really, this feels like a last-ditch effort here for REYNOR, even as he does have more in development. He's got to get a lot here to make this happen. He's got a big concave, but the tanks are firing away. None of them are going down, and this is just a rout here for Cure in this game. He's just going to be able to stim past all the biles, get on top of the reinforcement. The Ravagers are going to go on down. The roaches, well, they're going to die too here. Even if Creep is going to keep them a little bit alive a little bit longer, and that supply lead, well, army supply lead is not even there. Cure's got a 10 army supply lead at this point. Total supply, it's just about even. Cure is in a wonderful position to move across the map here and make REYNOR suffer for the amount of stress that he's been put under over the course of this game. Now the tanks are moving forward. We're going to have a couple repairs as well. Just make sure that they last at much longer. We're going to see Biles land. No, not even. They're not going to get dropped. And yeah, okay, REYNOR's just going to give up this base. He understands that there is not a world where this base gets kept. And actually, these medevacs are all exceedingly low. I think they've just, each of them has taken like just about 3 biles. I think it takes, what, 4 biles to kill off a medevac. But yeah, they've all taken N-1 bile shots here. And now with the 4th base being dead, we got a drop going on into the main base. Meanwhile, the valuable mechanical units, the medevacs, The very low medevacs at the very least. The tanks as well. They're going to find their way back home. They're going to get repaired. They're going to get ready for the next attack. So now REYNOR, he's going to be able to deal with this. Really shouldn't do too much to them. But, you know, there are Vipers on the field. And it's not like we have a plurality or just a super just an overflow of tanks, right? There are only 5 on the map at this point. Yes, the tanks, they're going to be able to knock down a lot of these drones. And this is going to be maybe enough even by itself here. REYNOR's economy is now in the dumps. Kira is now aware of where this 4th base is. So he's going to be able to cancel that one. There we go. Meanwhile, drop the main base, not getting a lot. That is fine there. That base actually was a kill, not a cancel. And now it is 2-2 versus 2-1. So it's the 1 upgrade lead, but these are the upgrades that are really starting to matter, right? Stimmed bio with certainly with an attack with a +1 attack upgrade versus the carapace of your opponent is going to be fantastic. We have Cure. He's on 180 supply. It gets scary for a Zerg, of course, once you pass 150. And I mean, REYNOR can still make this happen. He gets a miracle trade. He gets blinding clouds on top of the entire army. Maybe that's something that REYNOR can make happen here. And you know, these subducts are starting to find some value, right? It's not like REYNOR is really trading all that much for the value of these abducts. He's losing maybe 1 or 2 roaches, but yeah, the tanks are going on down. Now the Viper's going to stem on top of this Viper. The Viper is dead. It's a full-on concave from the Terran player with a +20 army supply with 2 additional upgrades in the lead. Yeah, this fight is not working for Cure or for REYNOR. Not really. He's running out of everything. He's running out of a game. And GG Cure. He takes game 2. And now we're here into game number 3 and spawning at the bottom right. In the blue. He took game 1, but game 2 proved to be a little bit more of a struggle. He is, for Clash Esports, REYNOR. And his mighty opponent in the upper left in the red, taking game number 2 with style, with aplomb, with a fantastic hold. He is, for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure. So I have these games from replays, as we do see REYNOR opening up with, REYNOR, he's got the read. We're going to talk about more about Spanish and map names in a second. This REYNOR has the absolute, he's got the soul read on Cure, about how Cure wants to run this series. He's gone for an early pool once again, and Cure once again, he's going for this proxy 3 racks. What a read there from REYNOR. Well done. That is fan-flippantastic there for the Italian stallion, for the young player. As at this point, well, we saw what happened in game 1, right? Cure didn't get the damage he needed, and REYNOR just kind of killed him afterwards. Now I guess the question is whether Cure can make something happen to this, because already I don't think REYNOR has scouted this again yet. He just shouldn't have the vision on it. But even with that, right, he is going for the roach pressure behind this, and it's actually really interesting to see REYNOR go for roach pressure 3 games in a row against Cure, against Cure, because he doesn't really do that against a lot of other players. I don't know whether this is just a wow. Cure is A, weak to roaches in the mid game, but B, I think he likes the 2 racks a lot. He likes the 3 racks a lot. So getting on in that 19 drone roach pressure is going to be more than enough to make sure I'm safe. Or whether this is, I don't know, just how he is evolving into the game. I haven't seen a lot of his TVs or of his DVT as of late, so not really sure. But he will be able to find his way on into the high ground. But we do have roaches on the way. No bunkers really being able to be built. I think one bunker, that bunker should be within range of the hatchery, but that should be the only one. This is a bit better of a push here from Cure. He wasn't scouted quite as early, so that does mean that he's going to be able to get his bunkers up. He will be able to get a decent amount of damage done on this hatchery, but now the roaches are out. And here's the big thing, though. The bunker was not canceled. Now, we do have one bunker. It's going to struggle to get up a little bit longer, but with the two SCVs, this should be a second bunker up as well, and that's going to be a little bit more difficult for Cure, or for REYNOR to really break his way on out of. In fact, he may even lose this base. With the Biles here, of course, with the Ravagers, eventually we will see these bunkers start to go on down. We should point out, of course, that Cure, he is, wait, Zergling's getting SCV damage. That's interesting. We should, of course, point out here that Cure has not put his bunkers right next to each other, so it's only one Bile that kills off, or it's only one bile hits one bunker. It's not one bile hits, or biles don't hit two bunkers at this point. And there we go. The base is down, but REYNOR, he's just building up for his breakout across the map, right? He wants to be able to make sure that he can go across the map and do damage to his opponent to equalize things, even as he does lose that base. So he's going to get on up into 3 Ravagers here. We might see a couple more. We're going to have to see. But certainly he's putting himself in a position where he should be able to bust these bunkers down. But considering there are 2 bunkers, right? REYNOR, he's just kind of forced to sit here and ping pong back and forth, trying to see if he can break the bunkers down. But yeah, REYNOR, he's just repairing one, repairing the other, repairing one, repairing the other. Now, and with the 2 bunkers, right? It's not even like you can all in on one, bile it down, be fine, because the other bunker is just going to kill all of, or at least most of your Ravagers. The first bunker should die, and with the Queen's here with the Ravagers, the second bunker is dead as well. This is the breakout that REYNOR was looking for, but it needs to be more than just a breakout, right? It needs to be more than just making sure that he can get his natural down. He does need to find damage across the map because, well, Cure, he's developing his tech. He's got 1 tank underway. Does he have? No, okay, no tanks, but first tank is underway. That should be done, or just about done by the time these Ravagers hit the field on the other side of the map. And we're not going to have enough, well, yeah, we're going to have enough Ravagers that's one that the bunker should immediately get targeted on down, right? Because the bunker has 400 HP. Each bile is 75 damage. So 7 times 7 is 490. Yeah, so that is that. Of course, that is the damage there. Oh, wait, is each bile 60 actually? Anyway, we should see the vials go on down on that. They're going to get a lot of damage on top of all of this. That's more than can be realistically repaired. And now, okay, so what we should see here is we should see the 1 low roach, right? Because there's enough gas for REYNOR to morph it. Going up into the high ground, eat the tank shot, eat the biles, and there we go. Now biles are going to start to rain on down. I really would have preferred to see the triplicate, right? Knock that bunker down as well, just make it much easier for the roaches to go on the high ground. But I guess with the tank here, REYNOR realized that he could only do that trick once without having some sort of vision on the high ground. So he's not going to. In fact, he's just going to go back on home and accept the fact that he is behind in this game. I mean, this is a best of 5. He does not have to win this game to win the series, although he would like to, right? Going up 2-1 is a lot easier to win a series than going down 1-2. But at this point, he really doesn't have much of a choice. All right, looks like REYNOR is doing a much better job of just warding the Banshees away in this game number 2. Now, in game 1, he was able to kill one of those Banshees, and that was rather nice, right? That did help him out a good bit, but he also lost like 6 drones to those Banshees, so that became a little bit of a problem. But of course, at the end of the day, it wasn't that he lost 6 workers, although that could have had an impact, and maybe just how fast that timing did hit. But the big deal was that while he broke the 3rd base of Akira, he was not able to get through the wall and knock the tank down on the high ground in the period of time where there were only 2 tanks. When the tanks were grouped. So if he got that 2nd tank on the high ground, he could have very easily busted his way on through, on into the high ground, broken the natural, and then if the natural's broken, Cure is dead in that game. So while Cure did win, and it was kind of a, wow, REYNOR did not break him, Cure's going to win this game in about 5 minutes, that should not belay how close that game was, right? It just, if the roaches got on top of that tank, even if some Ravagers were able to section off onto the left-hand side to knock that tank down, because REYNOR did have army on the left-hand side, but unfortunately they were busy killing off wall, so the wall did close when he did have room to find his way on up into that base. That really was the big difference there. So we're going to have to see whether something like that happens. We see something any way different here. We have no Baneling Nest yet, and more and more roaches are on the way, and it's going to be a +1 Carapace as the tech of choice for REYNOR in this game. And that's going to help everything. That really doesn't tell us a lot about his tech path of choice. All right, you can go Ling Bane getting Carapace first, you can go Roach Ling Bane. It probably means he's going to go Roach Ling Bane, actually, right? If you're getting Carapace first, it's something that will, well, something that will benefit from, or every unit that he makes will be able to benefit from this +1 Carapace. So I guess that's going to be the play, right? And you just go for a big swell of units. I mean, this is something we see in ZVZ a good bit, right? You get +1 Carapace, and then the Zerglings benefit. It takes 3 hits from a Roach to kill the Zerglings. It takes 2 Banelings to kill a Zergling. The Ravagers are better. The Roaches are a little better. It works out. What if thought this might be some sort of Baneling thing, but we don't see a Baneling nest down. There we go. Yeah, +1 attack is now underway. Second eBay as well. And yeah, REYNOR, he's kind of committing to the same idea he did in the previous game, but this time he's actually going to have a little bit better upgrades. He's going to be able to get on into things just a little faster. And that does mean that this push is going to be a little bit more powerful. It will have most likely, well, maybe it's just going to hit with +1 Carapace. Now, I do like what we see from here, just moving out on the map, trying to do what he can to remove as much creep spread as possible because, well, that's going to be the position that REYNOR's going to be looking to push through. Right, you push on in through the position that you do have all that creep spread for, and that means that your reinforcement happens faster, it means your rally happens faster. You're just a little bit happier with things, and also attacking from the north side is just a really nice concave that your Roaches can hit. So it remains to be seen whether that is exactly REYNOR's plan in this game, but certainly would be good positioning. And there we go, Baneling Nest underway, Infestation Pit as well. I guess he's transitioning out of this. All right, we're not going to see, I kind of expected to see maybe a Hydra Den, maybe a Lurker Den, right, going on into Roach Ravager, Hydra, into Hydra Lurker. Because again, when you have earlier ranged attack upgrades, it means your Lurkers are really scary. But that's not what we're going to see here. Is the Zerglings, they're going to get this round, and behind this, while Baneling Speed is underway, REYNOR is going to go into some sort of melee tech here. We might see Ultras behind this, kind of consider this the old school kind of Roach Ravagerling Bane into quick Ultra Tech, although I guess technically Ultra Tech's not all that early because this was also a proxy 3 racks. We should remember. I like what we see REYNOR do here, by the way. He's like, yeah, okay. My army is not mobile. It's not mobile at all. Roaches, I mean, Roach speed's fine. Zerglings, they're okay, but Zerglings don't add a lot of DPS right now anyways. So I understand that on a map like this, when I have taken the bases that I have, REYNOR, or Kira's going to look to abuse this, right? He's going to look to go high ground, low ground, high ground, low ground, take advantage of all that dead airspace outside of my main base, and he's going to make me suffer for it. Well, I cannot suffer for it. If I build 3 spores right there, and that means medevacs, they do die. So, +2 Carapace. Oh, he's going to get 1 medevac too with the Biles. That's pretty cool. Unexpected there. But now, let's see. +2 Carapace is done. +1 melee. It's about half. I don't know, a third of the way done here. +3 Carapace. This is such a weird upgrade combination. Right, we're going to have +1 melee, but +3 Carapace done right around the same time. So yeah, the units of REYNOR, they're gonna tickle, but they will have, they will be tanky as hell. Again, rather interesting. Now Vipers are also out, which means that, actually, do we have any tanks on the field right now? So yeah, we have tanks. We got a lot of tanks. 8 tanks on the field right now for Cure. And that means they're really not going to be nearly as impactful as they might otherwise be. And there we go. Okay, so Ultra Cavern down behind this. I'm rather surprised that this is the tech path that REYNOR has opted to go. It's just super anachronistic, right? This is something we used to see back in 2015, 2016, 2017. I don't know if it's as good as it is then as it is now. Because, well, A, you no longer have the guaranteed biles with infestors. But anyways, big run by rolling on into this third base. 8 workers will die immediately. Baneling's going to get on. So yeah, this bio rally is not going to get much of this here. Banelings, they're going to knock down the Marines, and then they're going to roll on into the mineral line. We're going to have to take a look whether anything more goes down. 25 workers die as REYNOR Cure. They're both going to be supply blocked. REYNOR will lose his, what is this? His 4th base. But Cure, he's now down on 40 odd workers. He only has really 2 bases at this point. I mean, he's got a 3rd, but it's not enough to mine off 3 bases at this point. Now we have Lings, Banes, Ravagers, Roaches, all that good stuff rolling on in. We're going to see Blinding Clouds on the tanks on the back line. But there's just no damage in this army of REYNOR. Not yet. It's still 1-1-2. It's tanky. It doesn't die all that fast. I mean, the Banelings die because they explode themselves. But it doesn't die all that fast. But it really doesn't do a lot to this army of Cure. Although, granted, Cure's armor is not done yet. So We have upgrade parity between the attack upgrades of Reynor and the armor upgrades of Cure at this 13-minute game. That's pretty funny. Now the Ultra is going to look to run on in. Kindness Planning is done now, so it's going to be one tanky mother here. Now, Parasitic Bombs on top of all of these medevacs doing a pretty good job here. Bailey's looking to filter on in. Bile's going to get dropped as well. How many tanks remain? 5 tanks remain out of the 8 that started, and I believe a couple of those have been made. So what do we have? Yeah, 5 tanks on the front line here as more and more are underway. And Reynor, he's just looking for a big engagement position here. So we're going to see Blinding Clouds not only on the tanks, on top of the entire army. They got to stem on out. It means these tanks are dead. They're going to have to be abandoned. The tanks are dead. Now the bio's not strong. It is 2-2 against Ultras that have 5 armor here. Yeah, are they doing the most? No. Do they have Ultra Speed yet? No. But it doesn't matter because they're just not dying. Not against this army. I mean, yeah, it takes like, what, 4 volleys of this entire army to kill off one Ultra at this point. That is not the position you want to be in if you are Cure. And now Cure, he's down 100, almost 100 supply in this game number 3. And it looks like Reynor is steps away, mere moments away from taking a 2-1 lead in this series and etching that date with Clem in the finals. But he's just gonna have to knock down the rest of this army. It's gonna get found here. GG Cure says, I've had enough. Let's go to game 4. And now game number 4 here. Reynor versus Cure. And at the bottom right, in the blue for Clash Esports, Reynor. And his opponent in the upper left in the red. He's down 1 game in this series. Will his preponderance, his reliance on Proxy 3 racks prove to be his undoing? It hasn't worked thus far. Doesn't look like he's going to do that. Go for that again for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. We have Cure. I am very happy to see a barracks in the natural, or in the main wall here, or I guess main ramp, whatever you want to call it. Gas behind that. It will be a Reaper expand in this game. We're not going to see that high level of aggression that Cure has gone for in the last couple games. Well, 2 out of 3 last couple games did not work out for him. It did not look very good. And even in the game where he maybe got a little bit more, didn't quite work out for him at the end of the day. So now we are into, well, into our 4th game here. This is Romanticide. It is a much bigger map. It is a map that is much more likely to send our players into one of those long epic games that we really should expect out of Cure versus Reynor. I mean, you have Cure who wins just about every EPT Cup of the 81 circuit, right? North America, Europe, and Korea. Cure, by this point, has already won Korea. And, well, after this, we're going to have to see whether he goes on and wins North America as well. But yeah, Cure, he looks good. He wins so many of these cups. I think I took a look at the math. And in 2020 alone, or 2021 alone, he's almost made as much from EPT Cups, especially with the enhanced prize pool, as he would have made making just top 16 in the GSL. So again, he dominates this stuff. It's kind of crazy, actually. And really the only question there is, man, I wish he would show that level of performance in the in actually offline tournaments like the GSL. I mean, yes, he gets top 4, he does very well, but always seems like there's something that's making him stop. Right? There's just something that that's just kind of stopping him from really showing his true power at that highest of levels. But now the Queen's gonna pop out here, so Reaper is gonna stop. It's kind of interesting to see how heavily players commit to Reaper aggression with the Zerglings with Queens. Or against the Zerglings, against the drones before the Queen does pop out. Because, yes, the Reaper will heal, right? The Reaper will regen, do all that. Look at the Cure almost just kind of telegraphing mech in this game. Sending that barracks out to go and knock down the Overlord. I don't think it's going to be, because, I mean, Cure doesn't really play mech. But generally, right, when you see that barracks lift, when you see that build time traded away for an Overlord, well, that does kind of tend to make you think that. But I think it's more of a case here that it will be... that is 3cc play. So here's like, as long as I have what I need to make sure I'm not dead, and he does see the 3rd base go down, I can eat that build time. It's going to be fine. But anyways, what I was saying earlier, it is always interesting to see just how heavily a Terran player will commit with a Reaper early on, right? knocking down the Zerglings, trying to find some value there, because eventually, as the Reapers now, well, it's going to jump on the high ground, but eventually we'll die here. The timing is here, speed is done, all that fun stuff. Yes, the Reaper can dance, but it will start to take some damage. And with that damage being taken, right, you run into this problem where, yeah, they do great. Maybe they knock off a Zergling, maybe they knock off two, maybe they get a drone if you're really lucky. Not at the highest level normally, though. But then you don't have the HP you need to tank a couple queen shots to knock down the creep tumor. So it's like, do I try to get some Zerglings and get that 25 mineral value, or do I go and make sure I delay the creep a little bit more? And Kira in this game, at the very least, he's going for that creep idea, or they're going for the damage idea, hoping he can get something. But Reynor also kind of respected that. He did get his creep tumor a little bit further back than he would optimally like to do. I mean, ideally, you're getting that creep tumor right on the edge of creep. You're pushing that out ASAP. But also Reynor here, I think he's kind of realizing that in these games that have gone long, in the games that he has not really had to deal with a weird timing. I mean, he went for like +1 speed roach, not even getting a second upgrade in game 2. That didn't really work out for him, but I think Reynor is kind of feel a little bit more comfortable, more confident, and comfortable in the mid game and the late game, especially on a map like this. So he got speed overlords, just make sure that he is not going to see any sort of armory tech, anything like that come down from Reynor, and he doesn't have to worry about some sort of 5-minute hellbat timing, which would be rather scary. But we do have 8 Hellions on the map here, and how many Zerglings do we have? Only 14. 7 queens though. That should be enough to hold this back, as the Liberator is going to cause a little bit of a ruffle in things, and there we go. More and more Zerglings are on the way to really just make sure that Kier doesn't get too much here. At the very least, these Zerglings, they will die. No, yep, there we go. Kier will be able to find these Zerglings scouting around, but it is keeping the Hellions back home. It is buying Reynor time to get a couple Banelings, just make sure that the Hellions don't dive on into a mineral line, cause him all manner of mischief and madness and woe. Oh, there we go. 1 SCV, 4 Fear's Troubles at this point. Now the Liberator is... Where's the Liberator? Is it dead? No, the Liberator is not dead. Liberator just patrolling around, not really in position to do any harassment. I thought I saw it moving around the map. Anyway, Liberator finding no value just yet. Now, by this point, well, Reynor, he's on 62 workers. He has a decent amount of army, and he's going to get that wall off. Reynor is, honestly, he's one of the best players in the world in making sure he gets this wall. Gets the Evo chamber between the gas and the hatchery. Just says, hey, Hellions, you don't get to dive on in. Good luck. That doesn't happen. But now actually it looks like the Liberator is finding value in the main base. 3 workers have gone down before Reynor gets the pull off, and he's not really reacting. Oh, sorry, this was a Viking. Did the Liberator die? Okay, never mind. The Liberator died. Reynor targeted that one on down. So hey, 3 workers for a Liberator. Not the end of the world for Reynor. Not the end of the world for Kier either. He finds some value, but realistically, it's not the max value, but against Reynor, it probably is. Now Zerglings, they're going to find this drop as well here. So Reynor's doing a fantastic job of just making sure that he establishes map control. It's kind of this idea that, well, you know what? If my opponent can't drop me, if I'm already always in his face, I always know where his army is just because I'm battling with it the entire time. Although I wish some of these Zerglings, there we go. They're going to go target down SCVs. Just make sure that they get more. Oh, friendly fire, friendly fire, friendly fire. No. Nice job there from Kier, making sure that he retargets untargets. So no more SCVs than the ones that are actively getting targeted down by these Zerglings will go on down. There we go. So mainly will morph, but a Widowmine will find them. And now we have 1-1 on the way for Reynor. 1-1 just about done here for Kieran. I didn't see a Spire. Yeah, this is just Lingbane focused, but this is a late 1-1 for just pure Lingbane. I mean, yeah, Reynor, his economy's not even all that great, actually. It's only on 63 workers. He's playing I'm not going to say an all-in style, because he's going to drone up more, as we do see here. But he's playing just an extremely up-tempo style. It's a nice job. Well, actually, that got a really nice Widowmine connection. Yeah, 7 kills there. Almost playing like an up-tempo all-in style, right? Where he's going a little bit more low eco. A little bit higher army count earlier on. And his upgrades are going to be slower, but if he can just keep his opponent at home and just keep doing these weird trades where he just fights his opponent's army where the army really isn't, maybe it's going to work out for him as Zerglings will find this drop. And of the 4 medevacs, only 2 will really pick on up. So Raynor, he is actually starting to pull ahead in army supply rather significantly, which in Ling Bane is rather surprising. And normally, well, you just go and... Okay, Banelings are going to look to roll on in here. Banelings on into the middle line. Curious not pulling in time. 5 workers do go down. So that's 13 workers have died, I believe, over the course of this game. 14 workers have died. And now it's time to go try to penalize this planetary for existing. But that's not really enough. Not really enough for that to happen. All right, so now Banelings, that's a lot of Banelings Morpheon in here. Raynor's going just for a big bust on the right-hand side. There's going to be a wall temporarily, but it should just get targeted on down rather quickly indeed. Widowmine's going to move on forward as well, just again, looking to knock down these Banelings as they crash on in, but they're going to connect anyways. Widowmine's not getting the best shots here. Banelings getting much better ones, as now Ling Bane comes crashing on in. More and more Banelings in the front, just making sure that the army of Cure has to split. It has to run home. It cannot defend the mineral line, and that is exactly what's happening. It actually looks like Raynor's just winning the fight as well. The entire mineral line is going down. 18 SCVs have died, and the army of Cure is dead as well here. 20 workers are now dead. The third base is going to have to be lifted. The gases are gone, and yes, Cure does have positions to retreat to. He has more walls that he can retreat to, but I love this from Raynor. He's just knocking down walls. He's knocking down supply depots at this point, hoping that he will supply block Cure, which guess what? He has 116 army supply, or total supply, is going to be the cap that Cure has to deal with right now. He's only on 57 workers. His army supply, though, it has equalized. And that's really the bigger deal. That he will have a 2 upgrade lead on his opponent. So those are the bigger deals at this point here. Raynor no longer has that 30 army supply lead that he had previously, that he was using to effectively all-in Cure and try to slap his economy back into the Stone Ages. And, well, I'm not sure. The economy, it's certainly not Stone Ages. We might consider it Iron Age, maybe Bronze Age or something like that. But certainly doing a little bit better than Raynor would have hoped. I think he wanted to do more than just break 1 base. I mean, he still got a lot of the army, but I feel like he maybe wanted a little bit more there. But now Baneling's going to look to roll on in. Is this base going to die? Do we have enough Banelings for that yet? And the Zerglings to follow up? Yes, we do. 9 workers die. The 4th is now dead. But Cure now, he has a rather significant army supply lead and army quality lead. If we look at resource cost, it's much higher, especially in the gas count. I mean, that's a lot of medevacs. So we have 20 supply and medevacs here. It's a lot of medevacs and more on the way. We're going up to 12 medevacs. That's, again, significant numbers there from Cure. But Cure's economy is kind of in the dumps, right? He doesn't have a 4th base. His 5th base, or his 3rd base, has been broken several times. But he's got more army up until this very moment where Raynor does allow himself to complete a little bit more. And he is going to be up 1 upgrade when this attack happens. I mean, he's going to miss his 2-2 time. He's going to miss his 2-2 versus 1-1 timing, but still, 2-2 versus 0 versus 1-2 is going to be rather nice. The Widowmine's not going to get a lot. And Army looking to roll on forward once again. Baneling's looking for connections. Widowmines are going to get rolled on over here. Do we have the splits from Raynor? It looks like we do. Yeah, that's going to be decent, but not enough to allow him to break on through, not allow him to find that next level of the army. Now Baneling's Lings, they're going to find their way on into the natural. And notice, by the way, we did see an infestation pit go down. We have a hive under, well, actually we have a hive done, and we have a Hydra den. So Lurker den's on the way as well. Raynor going into that next level of tech. Nice. Oh, that Widowmine shot to finish things up. I'm like, wow, nice splits from Raynor. No, Cure does equalize. And now, once again, 20 army supply lead. That's really the medevacs at this point, because it looks like a couple have died. But still, nothing to shake a stick at, as now Widowmines, or Baneling's going to roll on in. 14 SCVs die, as it looks like a lot of damage on in the 3rd base as well. And Cure, as well as his army may be trading, he's just not allowed to take advantage of that. He has lost a grand total of, I think, like 50 workers, 68 workers over the course of this game. He does not have drilling claws yet, and it's only now underway. And that means, I mean, Cure is just stuck in this quadrant of the map. Not even a quadrant. This little sliver of the map in the upper left-hand side. He kind of has a 4th base once again, but his 3rd base is not really mine. He's only on 45 workers. Functionally, he's down a lot. I mean, he's down less than he was because he does have this base established, but it's still a bit of a problem. And also, he has not had the money to reestablish his wall. His actually max supply is only 164, and that is in part, again, because he did get that 4th base on up. Now we have Ling's Veins rolling on in once again. We have Lurker. Oh, interestingly enough, Raynor's going for Lurker speed. in this game before lurker range, and that will mean that he's going to be able to get more aggressive quicker. Now, again, they're not going to shoot as far, and that's going to be a bit annoying, but certainly they will be able to be more aggressive faster. And considering the position that REYNOR is in this game, where he is dominating the map, where he is up massively economically, where he is up 50 supply, even if his army supply is lower, that's what he wants to do, right? This style that he's gone for on almost 100 drones does mean that he's looking to just trade and trade and trade and trade. Because his army, if he allows Kira to get up to 200 supply, if he allows Kira to max out, his army will just be inferior. All right, that's not a question. That is just how this does work out. But now Widowmine's going to go on off. Nice splits are going to be decent, but are they going to be enough? That's the big question here. Banelings look to roll on in. Of course, Banelings maybe not as effective as they might otherwise be, but still 10 workers do go on down. Once again, the third base has been broken once again. And here he's going to have to repair, rearm, make sure he survives. But now Lurker's defending things. It's a little bit more difficult. Now, granted, Lurkers do not have range. They're not really going to be that terrifying defensive force that might otherwise exist. But they will be able to shove Kira off of this third base. But of course, he's just going to go drop. I thought in the main base. Lurkers are going to burrow on top of this planetary as well. Do we have a full surround? We don't. So the SCVs can still repair here. And the planetary is actually going to do a fantastic job of knocking all of these Zerglings down, considering, hey, they have it's splash damage. But now the follow-on Zerglings is going to show on up once again. Drop on into the main base. Now 16 SCVs have died. The fourth base looks like it's going to die off screen. Oh, we're going to actually put it on screen because that's worthwhile here. 17 workers have died. The fourth base is dead. And yes, there's a drop on into the main base. It might find some value, but I don't know that it's going to be finding enough. Here's the Lurkers. They burrow on the high ground. And yeah, the drop on the low ground may be able to do something. There's just not nearly as much stuff in this army as there previously was. The Hydras, the Lurkers, they're going to find some value here. Knock all of these medevacs down eventually. And the Queen as well. +1 is nothing to shake a stick at. I think we're just going to start to hit this point where REYNOR sends half his army to low ground, half the high ground, and says, no, you don't get to do this anymore. And this just feels like the last army of Kira at this point. He's only on 32 workers. He has lost his fourth base for the second time in this game. His natural's not really mining. His main is not mining. There's nothing there. So he's really only mining off of his third base. He's sitting here at, yeah, about 1,000 minerals, 200 gas a minute. He still has a somewhat scary army, even as he has eclipsed an army supply. And yeah, the army's not going to be scary enough anyways. GG REYNOR, he takes the series, and he moves on to grand finals against Clem. So if you like what I do, if you like what we do here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Let us know how you feel about the video. Add on the wonderful those metrics for the algorithm. And if you like what I do personally, make sure to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Beowulf. I cast ESL Open Cups, North America and Korea consistently, and other events that I get access to. But thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next time, and stay safe out there.